Yes, and welcome back. This is the second set of our interviews, and I'm glad that I have basketballers, so people who are pushing basketball in the country with me. And of course, there was a camp that happened that's in Kayole under Diwopa, and a number of upcoming basketball players got a chance to be known, or rather to exhibit their talents. And also, a number of them got lucky, and they'll be heading for scholarships. And what has been happening on the ground is something that's been there for some time. So we're here to talk about that and also know more about Dribble Dreams, this particular organization that has its footing in Canada, and what really brought them to Africa and what now lies ahead next. I was thinking about just when I saw like three now, I was calling Zeddy so much yesterday, and he told me about three people, only three kids from the camp of 50 plus who happened to be like got a chance to get these particular scholarships. But you'll be telling us, is it three so few or is it just a starting point? But a better way to start is by the introduction, right? And I'll introduce Natasha Chelsea on my far left. I'll begin with her. And she is also from the FEBA, this Far East Basketball Association, FAROVA. Definitely, that's from the Eastlands. And Eastlands across the world, we know that it is where the workers of the city live. Anyway, Zeddy Otieno has been here before. Zeddy Otieno is the national team coach. He was here with the under 16, and so pleased to have you, Zeddy. Thank you so much that you became now my friend, right?
Yeah, sure.
And of course, on my right is Ismail Hassan. Ismail, very welcome, from co-founder of Dribble Dreams, and of course also Ajit Ginatra, also from Dribble Dreams. Karibuni sana. Welcome on the set and on the touchline. Yes, and I'll begin with the Dribble Dreams, right? This particular organization. Why did you find it, and what was the main motivation for beginning this particular project, and more so targeting kids here in Africa?
Yeah, so a little bit about myself, Ismail Hassan. We're both from Canada, played basketball growing up together, and sports just has a way to bring people together. So we had the opportunity to run programming in Milton, Ontario, Canada, where we started off with 50 kids in our camp, where we provide cost-free programming, removing financial barriers associated within sports. After that, we expanded to 100 kids in the summer of 2023. This past June, July, and August, we had the opportunity to expand to 200 children, where we make everything free. We give them t-shirts, basketballs, a safe, inclusive space for them to develop and nurture their skills and their passion for the game of basketball.
And have you realized what you intended, Ajit, so far, you'll say so? What you saw in Kenya?
Yeah, honestly, we love the environment in Kenya. These kids are so coachable, like compared to Canada versus now. They're hungry to learn, they're hungry to pursue the game of basketball, and that's something that we really appreciate. So thank you so much.
Yes, and for Chelsea, what do such programs do to what you run in under FEBA?
FEBA is far beyond basketball because we nurture skills and also life skill and career. So for them to support us and be able to donate shoes, basketball for the kids, it motivates them because these kids are from less fortunate families. So the little that we can give them actually pushes their motivation in playing basketball and actually acquiring scholarships. So yeah, it's a plus for us and the kids too.
And Zeddy, of course, for you, it's the amount of talent that's that's lying out there, and what Dribble Dreams are trying to tap into.
Yeah, and also at the national team level, it means that we're able to spot one or two players. We're able to identify Eric and Victor. These are players that in the camp, they stood out. They're like 6'3", 6'4". So these are players that we intend to tap into the national team grid, because such programs have proven to be very, very fundamental for these kids. Now, it was 1 week, but it was 1 week off drugs, off crime, and off all these things. And they came into the space, it's a safe space. They got good coaching, good advice. They've been given education materials and stuff. So it has been a blessing for them, for having the guys from Dribbles Bring come train these kids, engage with them. It was so emotional yesterday when they were leaving. They could not leave the court, I don't know until what time, because of how they had connected with the kids. Yeah.
I mean, and what does that make you feel?
Honestly, it was always a dream of us kind of to come to Kenya and do a basketball camp. I have some roots with my parents being from Kenya, even though I was born and grew up in Canada, but this was honestly an opportunity to give back to a community. And we had a plan going in, and it just blew our mind what we were able to do and just the impact we were able to have. As Coach Zeddy said, even just sticking around camp, we plan to finish
by 4 p.m. we stayed there until 6 p.m. just talking to the kids, and that's really when you know you're making a difference. And although we have opportunities for a few players to able to compete and continue to pursue it, there's countless other individuals who are learning the skills of basketball, learning the skills that they can transfer from the court off the court to be successful.
How influential, what kind of the training these kids get, Ajit?
Yeah, for sure. So we started off with something, a basic plan, and then we were invited out to see them kind of compete the day before our tournament, and that kind of changed our entire perspective, because coming from Canada, we're expecting almost a certain level of athlete from there versus here, and Coach Z was telling us that these kids are experienced, be ready for that, and to be honest, we weren't ready for it. And the first day, we're like, okay, let's change up our plan, let's do some form shooting, let's do some basic stuff, get them with the fundamentals first, and then we moved on to like offensive sets, defensive sets, getting them moving without the ball, getting them moving with the ball. And honestly, on the last day, they beat us in the All-Star game. We coached them too well. But it's just really impressive to see that they're willing to learn and they're really taking all that feedback in. And they're amazing players. Like, they're extremely coachable, and that's what we really like about them.
And for Zedi, I mean, the talent that's lying in there, what do you think that the gaps that such programs fill?
They fill a very big void, because remember, as a country, we lack such programs. So when we get people who are coming in to support whatever exists, then it's a plus, because you see, getting equipment, and it's not just equipment, this is high-end equipment, makes a very, very big difference, because it's not all about basketballs. The court may be there, a kid may be lacking shoes. They provide the basketball, they provide the shoes, they provided equipment, plus the knowledge in terms of training, because it was good training. And apart from that, there's also like refreshment, snacking, food. So at the end of the day, it's good exposure to the kids, good experience, and you are able to see from day one, because they were tested in day one. Some of them were able to improve their scores in the last day. So it shows the growth and the impact they've had for the whole week. So even us at the national level, we are happy, because remember, as this was happening, also Kenya Academy of Sports was also doing their national camp as well. So it means that we have a bigger pool of players to choose from, who are getting the right knowledge or information just to play the game. And I just want to say thank you to them for coming and partnering with FIGHT Basketball Association, because FEB has done this, and having such support, and now knowing that it may grow into something annual, it's quite massive. Yeah.
And now for Chelsea, how does now FEBA build on these particular partnerships?
We try to connect as much as possible and build a culture with the people who are trying to partner with us. It's not just daily business for us, because in the space we have very vulnerable children. So exposing them to people who are really interested in their best interest is important, because these kids have only one way out. It's basketball. They have to get scholarships, they have to get jobs through the space. So we have to be serious with the type of people we bring into the space. So being selective, we get genuine people all the time, and they give their hearts and leave their hearts with the kids, and it's so emotional for us. So it kind of gives us an accountability to be able to take care of what they give back to us and put it into the program. Yeah.
You have some maybe follow-up programs on seeing some of the excellent kids who come and just like they stick their neck out there and they run away with it. Do you have like follow-up programs for kids who show exceptional ability?
A fun fact, I'm a product of the program. I started playing basketball in Diwopa. Zedi was my coach. I grew, I became a young leader, and now I'm giving back into the community. I don't expect no pay, because this is where I grew. So I have to give that kid the opportunity I had at that age, you know? So it's kind of a giving back to them. To me, it's easy. It's easy for me to give back.
Yeah, and maybe being one of the beneficiaries or other people who've gone through the program perfectly. So you say that what are the gaps? Maybe is it just like the opportunities, as they say, or it's the drive?
It's the understanding. The opportunities are there, but people understand it differently. We get people who don't understand the dynamics of the program. They just think it's basketball and that's it. No, we want to change lives and use basketball as a tool to change lives. Yeah.
I mean, for Ajit, how easy was it for you to pick on basketball as a tool for change?
Honestly, I played basketball my entire life. I met this man right here sitting beside me playing basketball. Honestly, basketball has provided me so many opportunities, whether it's through meeting people like Coach Z in Chelsea, whether it's getting to school. I don't play currently at our school, but I'm trying to. Whether it's meeting people down in the States with my rep team, whether it's coming to Kenya, you know, making those connections. Basketball is a way out of the situation you're in, but it's also a tool to build on the person you are.
And Ismail, I mean, when we talk about one of the main ideas or major major aims of this particular program, Dribble Dreams, right, is to maybe help the youngsters, give them like a platform or a head start in breaking into the mainstream, maybe socially or culturally. But what are the struggles? What must they know? Because it's a whole process, you know, it never stops.
I think the big thing with basketball is adversity and challenges. And just like life, there's going to be adversity and challenges that you face. And basketball is a way to mimic that. There'll be obstacles that you can't overcome or you think you can overcome, where sports puts you in those difficult situations, where it teaches you skills that you can carry with you off the court. And when you use basketball as a tool, just like Chelsea and Feba say, you can really use it to not just empower yourself on the court, but off the court as well.
And now for Dribble Dreams, I mean, what 3 kids? What's the plan next year? I know this is the first one this year. Next year, maybe what's the projection?
Honestly, the goal this year was to come to Kenya, to come to Kayole, give 50 kids an opportunity for cost-free programming, to develop them and empower them. Our goal really is to go all over Africa and make a difference, but just after being and establishing a relationship with Chelsea, Coach Z, Derek, and Coach Moses, I'm not sure if we ever want to leave Kenya and Kayole just off the impact we've had.
And so you promise to come back next year. Any other country that the program could be extended to?
Honestly, we have some places that we're kind of thinking about. This is the first time we've ever done it outside of Canada. We've done a lot of programming in Canada. We have some dreams to do it, maybe South Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, but kind of just the first stepping stone and having these great people be a part of it just makes it possible.
And as we wind up, Zedi, I mean, looking at how, for instance, the number of milestones that maybe Kenyan basketball has undertaken this particular year, you were with the national team under 16, you won bronze at this, but that was huge for the game as well, at the junior level, as well as the Nairobi Thunder maybe going to the BAL Elite 12. I mean, these are what kids can look up to, right?
Yes, and such people, such programs are what will propel that drive. Because remember, if we don't do such programs, we will not develop that high-level player who will play at that high level, who will make us qualify. Remember, next year we have U16 qualifiers. So it was a chance to get to scout 1 or 2 boys into the national team. So we need such programs, and I just want to thank them from the bottom of our hearts, because not every day people sacrifice their resources, their time, just to come back and just give. Because at the end of the day, sports is very expensive. It's not cheap. And being able to put 50 kids together, train them, educate them, feed them for a whole week, that is amazing.
That's amazing. And maybe one more ad from you as we wind up. The program could be here next year.
Most definitely. We want to convince them and tell them that come back to Kenya, come back to Feba. If that to expand it, maybe let's do Nairobi, let's do Kisumu, let's do Mombasa. Yes, so let's, instead of doing maybe 50, maybe next year, we can fundraise more and maybe do 100, do 200, 3 locations or 4 locations. So as they come here also, they get into a safari. I know they're from the national park, but maybe do Mara, do Lake Victoria, do Coast, something like that.
Or go to Kibra as well.
Yes. Yes.
And for the 3 who are picked, the youngsters, Victor and who else? They're like the flagship of this particular program.
We're going to include them into the national team immediately. I know there are talks. I can't share much, but I know there are talks already to just set up the U16 national team for next year. We have only 3 months to the championship, so we have to think outside the box in terms of just how to scout, how to start training. Because also in 2 weeks they go back to school. Also we need to figure it out. How do you work with that, and how do you call them back also to work with them and just propel them for the championships?
Yes, indeed. For Chelsea, Feba, what holds for Feba?
We have programs every day, so it's normal day for us.
How does the community get involved?
it takes a whole community to build a child. That's what we say. So everybody has the accountability to take care of the kids who are in the environment. The space is in a church, so it's like a responsibility of the community, because these are kids who are vulnerable and they're from a less fortunate family. So everybody's supposed to be
to be involved, right?
Yeah.
And of course, coming from the church, that means the proudest moment for the program has been producing a number of stars, or having more people trained on being upright men and women in the society.
Stars.
Yeah,
Stars,
yeah, we have a lot of stars.
If you look at FEBA, when we started in 2012 up to now, we have produced players in the junior national team. If you look at some of the top clubs right now, have players from Kayole. So it's been amazing. And also one of their connection is Masai Unjiri with Giants of Africa. Is one of the pioneers to like build basketball courts in all the 5 primary schools within Kayole. So Kayole and FEBA has done amazing when it comes to basketball development in this country.
And of course, definitely also offered Ibs a landing base. That's where he spent more of his formative years, right?
Yes.
Right now, maybe you could be knowing him because he took Thunder to the continental level. But keep doing what you're doing. So for Ajit and Ismail, I mean, next year you're coming back, and what do you learn? What are the quick lessons that you pick from this particular? What does it make you do now? This particular program that you run in Kenya. Yes, Ismail.
I think the biggest thing is having a sustainable impact here. And although we're only able to be here for 5 days, even talk to Chelsea on the way here, is we made an impact. We made a difference in those kids. Just showing their vulnerability, some of them tearing up when we're talking to them, being open to conversation, and then, like we said with FEBA, continuing to donate our equipment with our basketballs, our basketball equipment, our strength and conditioning equipment, our resistance band, to help make sure that, like Chelsea said, they're running programs every day, that they have the equipment and the materials needed to help develop and sustain these individuals as they progress.
Yes, and Ajit, finally, from you, what should kids know out there, those who are eager and who are ready to grab the opportunity?
Honestly, just keep working hard. Most of us wouldn't be here if we didn't work hard and persevere through our differences, through our issues, through our problems. A lot of these kids come from homes that aren't necessarily what Ishmael and I are used to, and they just need to power through. A lot of them, we see them, they bring a smile every day. They're ready to work. They're ready to work hard every single day. I don't see any kids slacking. So if they just keep that up, they're going to go places. They're going to go far.
Yes, indeed. That's from Ajit. That's how we want it. Thank you so much, Ajit, Ismail, and Zedi and Chelsea for gracing the touchline this particular afternoon. We hope to see you again next year when the program comes. And also Zedi and Chelsea, of course, you're around. We hope to see you more and more, right? Sure. Yes, and of course, up next, I'll be talking to the Phoenix Taekwondo Club. That's on the touchline, so don't go too far.